What's up, everyone? This is the World of Marvel. Andy Cool 23 coming at you tonight with a new video. These are the top 15 Spider-Man comics I definitely suggest that you should read. These are my top 15 favorite. Of course, there's a bunch of Spider-Man comics. There's a bunch of different ones, so it's a little hard to, kind of center them down. So we'll be jumping around quite a bit, but these are really good issues, and I'll link them to their series and everything so that if you want to check them out, you definitely should. We're going to jump right on into this. And we're just going to jump right on in. Okay, so number 15, issue number 68, Crisis on Campus. It's a very good issue. It's when, this is around the time Peter's in college. It's a very good issue. It starts off the Stone Tablet series, the Clay Tablet. It's about achieving this tablet because it's got this uncharted power. You know, the Kingpin wants it, all kinds of criminals want it. So the Kingpin tries to invade during because the reason why it's a crisis on campus is because there's this big debate, like not debate, but this big protest going on because they want this exhibit turned into like a low dorm, like a low-cost dorm for the students, and the faculty's like, no, we can't do that. So there's this big protest going on, and so Kingpin's like, okay, we're gonna use this, so I'm gonna get the Clay Tablet this way. So he invades, Spider-Man has to stop him. It's a really good fight. Kingpin's a lot stronger than people think, because they usually think, he's just a big fat jolly guy, and he's actually, it's all muscle and everything. He's really tough. Like, Spider-Man gives him a few haymakers, Kingpin gets right back up. It's a really good fight, it's really exciting, and it leads to this really good kind of like mini-series of the Clay Tablet, because the Clay Tablet, it has this, it has this great power to it, but you have to decipher it. No one's been able to issue. Check it out. Number 14, issue number 69, Crush the Kingpin. This is an issue following right after Crisis on Campus, and it is another good one. It continues the series of the Clay Tablet. Spider-Man goes after the Kingpin because he's gotten away from the campus, but Spider-Man's hot on his trail. And so Kingpin, crush the Kingpin. So Spider-Man's chasing him because he's just left the campus. And the campus students who were protesting are in trouble. They've been arrested because they think that they were in cahoots with Kingpin because Kingpin escapes during all the commotion and everything. So the police, they misunderstand. They think that they're to blame too. So they're in prison. So they gotta, they're in jail. So they gotta try and find out how to solve that. And so Spider-Man follows Kingpin to a secret place where he goes to. A big fight ensues. Spider-Man, it's pretty cool because Kingpin sets a trap for him, like with all these guns and stuff, and where this sealed window is. So he opens it and throws in this costume dummy that he made of webbing in his costume. It's really clever, and then fighting Spider-Man back, knocking him back with his own blows. Don't mess with Kingpin. Don't mess with the Kingpin. But of course, Spider-Man's strong too. He's getting his licks in. Kingpin almost crushes his. Number 13, Spider-Man Wanted. And this issue follows up after this one. It's Spider-Man Wanted, because the police, they're always thinking Spider-Man's a menace because of J. Jonah Jameson. Most police know that Spider-Man's on their side, but, the majority, a lot of them, though, still think that he's a menace because of the Daily Bugle and everything they print. So, Spider-Man Wanted, and Kingpin's been put in jail. Spider-Man beat him last time. He was taken to jail, and so Spider-Man has the Clay Tablet, but he can't give it to any police, can't really take it anywhere because everyone thinks he's a criminal. Everyone thinks, oh, Spider-Man was in cahoots with Kingpin, so
boo, Spider-Man, boo.
No, not boo Spider-Man. Spider-Man's awesome. So it's a really good issue because so he makes this plan where he acts like he's just really angry, like he's really upset, even though he is, but he's just slowly twisting these metal bars like in place, and then eventually he's able to like just pull them from their foundation. So he's got the tablet hidden, so he doesn't have it on him, but he's trying to take Kingpin down once and for all, and the Kingpin ends up escaping because J. Jonah Jameson ends up arriving on the scene, and he allows the Kingpin to escape because his wife pulls up in a car. Kingpin's able to get in it, they take off, and J. Jonah Jameson shows up, and he's there to like confront Spider-Man and the Kingpin because he thinks they're in cahoots, which is the whole reason why the police think they're in cahoots, really. And so then he's shaking him like, I had the Kingpin, what have you done? And then, and not knowing that, J. Jonah Jameson freaks out, passes out. Spider-Man thinks he might have killed him, takes off. It's good one after that one. Number 12, The Speedster and the Spider. This is a very good one, too. It sort of follows up with the Clay Tablet story, but honestly, it's kind of its own, like, offbeat kind of story. But what it is Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and the Toad, from their own magazine, the X-Men, the Avengers and stuff, and, well, Scarlet Witch and the Quicksilver, whatever they may have done, may have seemed like villains at one point, but they really weren't. Magneto kind of forced them to do their thing, their evil thing. So Quicksilver is trying to find the Avengers and explain to them, hey, we're not bad guys, we're good guys. You just got the wrong idea. So he travels to New York. He travels to the Avengers headquarters. He goes there to try to find them and explain, but they're not there. So he's traveling through New York. He picks up this newspaper, sees that, Spider-Man's wanted by the police for the Clay Tablet. He goes, okay, well, I have an idea. If I capture Spider-Man and bring him to justice. Obviously, Spider-Man's not a criminal, but Quicksilver doesn't know that, so they're fighting, and it's a really cool fight. Quicksilver's basically trouncing him because he's just so fast. Spider-Man can barely even touch him. And Quicksilver's kind of got him, he's running around Spider-Man, he's stealing his oxygen. That's Quicksilver's plan. Spider-Man's a very durable hero, but, even he can't last without oxygen for very long. So Spider-Man, he decides that, okay, he's really fast, but he can't, phase through solid objects. So while he's running around, Spider-Man just simply sticks out his arm, Quicksilver runs right into it, knocks him out. Spider-Man climbs up you're not, or you would have vanquished me while I was out. So Quicksilver goes off, tries to find another way to prove their innocence, and that's how that one goes. But it's really good. You should definitely check it out. Number 11, Death Without Warning. Now, I don't really want to get into too many spoilers because this is sort of the end of the Clay Tablet, but eventually, because Kingpin, he gets away. But it's really good. You should definitely check it out. There's a lot of action in it. It leads to Connors eventually being mutated into the Lizard again. It's a really good one. Definitely go check it out, guys. At number 10, we got The Amazing Spider-Man, the first appearance of the Lizard. Now, like I said, some of these are kind of jumping around. So, the first appearance of the Lizard, it's a really good one. It's the Lizard, Spider-Man, Spider-Man meets the Lizard. Basically, there's this man-lizard creature. He's in Florida. He's terrorizing the inhabitants of Florida. He's in the swamps, the Everglades. Spider-Man, he ends up going down there because the Daily Bugle challenges Spider-Man to oh hey, I could go down there. I could make some money. I could fight the Lizard, kind of prove my superhero status. So they fight first. They're fighting. And Spider-Man learns why he's really strong. He's a lot stronger than I thought he was. Then he hears like this scream, this crying. He goes to this house that's like close to the Everglades, and he goes, I need to go check this out. Sees that a woman is crying. He goes in saying, I'm Spider-Man. I'm here to help. I'm here to protect you from the Lizard. And she goes, you don't understand. My husband is the Lizard. Spider-Man's shocked. He learns that Doc Connor's friend in there. So it's really good. Definitely check it out. It's one of the best ones. Number 9, If It Wasn't for Bad Luck. Now this one I really like. It's from the Alien series when Spider-Man has the alien costume. It's a really good one. It's the Blob, and it's really good, and I really like it. It's one of my favorites because it's got Spider-Man, it's got Black Cat, it's got a really good villain mutant.
Everybody knows about the Blob.
Yeah, the Blob, one of the most powerful Brotherhood mutants of all time. And it's just really good. It's one of the best, and I really do enjoy it. So what's going on in this issue is that the Blob he's mourning because he's really sad. Like, he's really mad, angry. His friend's dead, so he's going on a rampage. He's in New York. So Spider-Man, with his alien costume and with Black Cat, they go to confront him. they fight him, and it's kind of cool because Black Cat has these like bad luck powers. The Kingpin gave them to her through all these tests and experiments, and it's sort of like this thing with Peter where she doesn't want to tell Peter how she got these powers and stuff, but so basically Spider-Man dukes it out with him. Blob's really hard to beat, obviously, but with Black Cat's bad luck powers, they have a few advantages, so you should definitely check it out. Number 7, What is the Answer? And this is another one from the Alien Costume Saga, and it's really good. It's about this character. It's called The Answer, and the really cool thing about this is that the Kingpin hires him to kind of just figure out things about Spider-Man, like what makes him tick, what's his strengths, his feats. Sees Black Cat, follows her back to Peter's place. Peter kind of freaks out on Black Cat. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you leave someone here? Because she's telling him that someone who's not really physically strong or like fast, he's just really smart. Like he's able to kind of outmaneuver Peter. He's able to kind of guess his moves in a way. And there's this really cool part where Spider-Man like traps him in his web, but since he made this coating and was able to trap both Black Cat and Spider-Man in his own web because of Black Cat's bad luck powers, even though they help Black Cat out. It's one of the best. Number 6, Number 6, Mark for Destruction by Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom, him and Spider-Man. What happens is that Dr. Doom, basically, Dr. Doom, evil! Anyways, Dr. Doom is really, bad guy. So, he's thinking to himself, it's a really good one. It's really awesome because they duke it out. Spider-Man and him pretty much fought each other to a standstill. Dr. Doom messages him through his spider sense. There's a way you can message him through his spider sense. I didn't know you could do that until I learned that because Dr. Doom ended up kidnapping Flash Thompson. So you should definitely check it out. Number 5, The Man Called Electro. That's a really good one, classic one. Spider-Man fights a new villain called Electro. He has the power to manipulate a plan where if he goes to the penitentiary, he can release all the inmates and if they'll listen to him, then he can kind of take over the city and stop them with the fire hose. It's really cool. You should definitely check it out. That's a good one. Number 4, Nothing Can Stop the Sandman. That's a really good one. So the Sandman, he's just basically this criminal. He's just he steals things. He's a thief. He ends up being a very wanted criminal. Ends up hiding on this beach. He thinks it's pretty much this deserted beach, but it being that it's like a chemical testing, a bomb testing place. Like they test weapons, chemicals, all that kind of stuff. So when they're testing their weapons, Sandman, Marco Flint's on it, ends up being caught up in the experiments that transforms into sand. He can transform his body, harden it, solidify it, becomes sand. He becomes a Sandman. Goes on this crime spree. Spider-Man tries to stop him, fails at first because Sandman's just really strong, really adversive foe. Sandman ends up, he's going on this robbing spree. The policeman follow him, so he goes into this one room thinking it's empty, but it's not. The principal's in there talking to all these students, and so he's bullying the principal. Principal's basically telling him no.
Grade 10.
Yeah, and he's basically telling him no, you can't do that. You gotta work hard for a diploma. I can't just read it and check it out. Reading that notes here. Number 3, The Terrible Third of the Living Brain. That's a good one. This scientist comes to Peter's school and is showing everyone this new computer, new technology, or any question, and can solve basically any equation or question that is the scientist asks him to go up there, kind of calculate it and everything, and he asks the kids, what's the question you want to ask it, and everyone's like, oh, who's Spider-Man? Who is he? So these numbers, these equations that you solve, and so Peter takes it, the scientist, and trusts it to Peter, but Flash Thompson comes in and he goes, no, that's the nurse keeps getting on his nerves, and then Peter goes, you know what, it's time we settle this. They're basically smack talking each other, and the teacher comes in, tells them the nice stuff. So they're kind of like boxing and stuff, and Peter, he's just dodging Flash's blows because basically to him he's moving in slow motion. Spider-Man barely taps him, knocks him out. It's really cool. Number 2, Amazing Fantasy, issue number 1, Spider-Man. This is a really good issue. This is where Spider-Man first starts out. It's just, it's basically his origin story. I think a lot of people know his origin story. It's really moving. It's really touching, like, very powerful issue. It's really good. It's great. They actually, it's a really good emotional connection for a Spider-Man fan. I remember reading it and being like, wow, this just makes me love the character that much more. So definitely check it out. It's really good. And number 1 is his first issue, his first single issue, and that would be The Amazing Spider-Man. Issue number 1. He goes to see the Fantastic Four to try to join them. He gets trapped, but he says right here, the Fantastic Four think like my real power. It's awesome. It's a great issue. So, sadly, his uncle has just passed, and he's been killed. And it's just all around, it's awesome, and it what made me fall in love with Spider-Man in the first place. So those were the top 15 issues of Spider-Man that I think you should definitely check out and read, guys. Spider-Man is one of my favorite characters of all time. He's been my favorite for a long time. So guys, remember to hit that like button if you like this video, hit that subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. This was the World of Marvel, and Spider-Man rocks.